You have seen it your whole life, in museums, in movies, in textbooks. A giant winged creature soaring above the dinosaurs, diving toward the ocean to catch fish, gliding on warm air currents, high above a prehistoric world. Almost every part of that image is wrong. It was not a dinosaur. It did not eat fish. It was not the passive glider you have been shown. And for 50 years after its discovery, science had almost no idea how it actually lived. Its name is Quetzalcoatlus northropii, named after Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec feathered serpent god of the sky. The species name honors Jack Northrop, the aviation engineer whose tailless flying wing aircraft designs so closely resembled the animal that the connection was inescapable. It is widely considered the largest flying animal that has ever existed on Earth. It had a wingspan of up to 36 feet, comparable to a small aircraft. It stood 16 feet tall as a giraffe, and it shared its world with Tyrannosaurus rex. And almost everything the public thinks they know about it is a construction built from assumptions that scientists have been quietly dismantling for decades. In the spring of 1971, a 22-year-old geology graduate student named Douglas Lawson was searching for sauropod bones in Big Bend National Park in southwest Texas. He was not looking for what he found. Embedded in a sandstone outcropping in the Javelina Formation, a late Cretaceous deposit dated to approximately 68 to 66 million years ago, Lawson unearthed a wing bone so large that nobody could agree on what animal it belonged to. The remains were nearly twice the size of any pterosaur previously described. When the discovery was formally announced in the journal Science in 1975, it made the front page of the New York Times. That same issue of Science featured a cover image comparing Quetzalcoatlus to a Northrop flying wing aircraft, a pterosaur and a human aircraft side by side, with the pterosaur winning. Scientists estimated the wingspan at up to 51 feet. The popular press went into overdrive. Museums began building reconstructions. Books were written. The image of the giant flying creature became fixed in the public mind. There was just one problem. The holotype specimen, the single fossil the entire reconstruction was based on, consisted only of fragmentary wing elements. No skull, no complete skeleton, no body. Science had built the most famous flying creature in history from a partial wing and a series of educated guesses. For over 4 decades, almost no new scientific research was published based on direct study of the bones. The University of Texas at Austin confirmed in 2021 that despite half a century of public fascination, Quetzalcoatlus remained very incompletely described. In 2021, 50 years after the original discovery, a comprehensive scientific memoir was finally published that formally described the fossils in detail for the first time. It was published by the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology, the leading professional organization in vertebrate paleontology, and it corrected the wingspan estimate downward from 51 feet to between 33 and 36 feet. It formally separated the genus into 2 distinct species, and it answered, at least partially, the question that had haunted paleontologists since 1971. How did something this large ever get off the ground? The popular image, Quetzalcoatlus running across a beach, flapping its wings, lifting off like a bird, is not what happened. The 2021 research confirmed that Quetzalcoatlus launched quadrupedally. It crouched on all 4 limbs, then used the enormous muscles of its forelimbs to vault itself at least 8 feet into the air in a single explosive motion, like a pole vault, before its wings could generate the lift needed for sustained flight. Think about what that looks like. An animal with a 36-foot wingspan, standing as tall as a giraffe, crouching on 4 limbs and exploding upward 8 feet in a single burst of muscular force. Once airborne, Britannica confirmed estimates of flight speeds up to 80 miles per hour and the ability to cover up to 400 miles in a single day. An animal that could cross the distance from New York to Cleveland in a single day of flight. But here is the part that rewrites the entire picture most people carry. Quetzalcoatlus was not a sea creature. It was not a fish hunter skimming coastal waters. The Javelina Formation, where every known fossil was found, is located approximately 250 miles from the nearest Cretaceous shoreline. This animal lived inland. It walked on land. And according to research published by paleontologists Mark Whitten and Darren Naish, it hunted on land, stalking prey on foot through the late Cretaceous landscape of what is now Texas, moving like a giant prehistoric stork. The fish-eating image had been built into every museum reconstruction, every documentary, every textbook illustration for decades. It was wrong. The Smithsonian confirmed this shift explicitly, calling Quetzalcoatlus a terrestrial stalker, reaching down to the ground to pick up small vertebrates with the patience and method of a modern stork. The second thing almost everyone gets wrong is more fundamental. Quetzalcoatlus was not a dinosaur. It lived at the same time as dinosaurs. It shared the final chapter of the Cretaceous with T-Rex and Triceratops, the last great age of the dinosaurs. But the Smithsonian magazine confirmed that calling a pterosaur a dinosaur is an error equivalent to calling a human a marsupial. Pterosaurs and dinosaurs shared a common ancestor, but diverged into entirely separate evolutionary lineages before either group truly emerged. Pterosaurs were not primitive dinosaurs. They were not birds in waiting. They were their own extraordinary lineage, the first vertebrates in the history of Earth to evolve powered flight. And they left no living descendants when they disappeared 66 million years ago. Birds descended from theropod dinosaurs. Nothing alive today descended from a pterosaur. Every mainstream news outlet that has ever covered Quetzalcoatlus has made this mistake, including some that covered it this week. The Quetzalcoatlus, most people carry in their minds, was assembled from a partial wing. 50 years of unchallenged assumptions and a public image that science never bothered to fully correct until 2021. The real animal walked the late Cretaceous landscape of Texas on four limbs, vaulted itself into the air with the explosive power of its forelimbs, cruised at 80 miles per hour above a world shared with the largest land predators that ever lived, and stalked prey on the ground with the patience of a stork. It was not the passive glider of popular imagination, not a fish hunter, not a dinosaur, not the size anyone thought it was for decades after discovery. It was something stranger and more extraordinary than the image they built for you. And it took 50 years for science to finally look closely enough to see it clearly. Hit the notification bell, because the largest creature that ever flew was misunderstood for half a century, and most people still believe the version that science quietly corrected. Everything you know about Quetzalcoatlus is wrong. Subscribe to Vanished History. The real story is always stranger.